hello, fabulous people. I want to talk about an important feature, and it's critical that we often overlook when flying our drones. It pertains to when the drone take off, and explicitly the 0 point. That 0 point. I'm gonna use these little steps as an example. I'm gonna light a color. Okay, that's good. Let me get the eraser if I can. I'm gonna as light as possible. This may do it. Nope, that won't do it. Get the eraser again. I'm gonna get this little, it looks sort of yellowish. I hope that can do it. Alright, pretend right now, people. Here's my drone right here. It's sitting right here. Here's my little drone sitting right here on this step right here. If I took off my drone from that point, that is my 0 point. Right there is the 0. If I had a person standing up there, if I had a person standing here, let me draw a person. Here's a person standing here. Let me erase. Let me erase some of this stuff right here because it's about the 0 point. Here's a person standing right here, my stick figure. Here's a person standing right here. If I had the drone in my hand, holding it up, and took off right here, my drone right here and took off. If I decide to take off right there, that's my 0 point. Now, if I flew my drone beyond that, this would be the negative stuff right here. -5, -0.3, etc. Or below, and that's important. I'm gonna tell you why. If I fly above it, then it's +3 +5. That's critical. No one ever, all the drone videos I see, never to talk about how important that 0 point is. Because typically, let me erase this. Let me erase my little person right here. Now, if I took off my drone from here, this the best 0 point right here, the ground. If I had my drone right here, and I took off from here, this ground would be my 0 point. And that's what you always want. That's why it's always best to fly the drone there, the 0 point. Because if I was flying over water, if I here's my water. If my water was up here, here's my water. My 0 point will be below the water. I will have to fly plus. I'm just giving an example. To be above the water, I probably will have to fly plus 10 meters to get above the water. Because my 0 point is here on the ground, and I decide to fly over some water that's 10 meters that's above my 0 point, so I will have to fly my drone higher. No one ever stressed that 0 point out, so the 0 point is huge. If I fly it in my hand, like I did earlier, if I fly it in my hand, if I fly it here, then my 0 point is here. Then I will have to keep making adjustments wherever I flew at. Wherever I flew. Because that's my 0 point. So No matter if I fly all over here, my 0 point is right here, which is misleading because it's best to have a 0 point on the ground, have my drone flying in relation to the ground. So that's the biggest thing I want you to get people. When you fly your drone from your hand, like a lot of us do, that's the 0 point. And you have to keep making adjustments about there. I fly my drone way out. If I fly my drone, let me give an example. If I fly my drone, I'm gonna have my land right here. I'm gonna still have my ground right here. Here's my ground. If I fly my drone out here to 500 meters, right from where I was standing at, my 0 point would still be at my height right here of my figure. My 0 point would still be there. So no matter how far I fly out, I said 500 meters because that's a good reading to fly any drone in the city. DJI drones, remember, they're not going to really go no 20, 15 kilometers in the city. Right there, I want to have 500 meters. That's my 0 point. So I have to always take that into account. No one ever really stressed that 0 point, how huge it is. If I decide to fly my drone up higher, I think it's 3 meters, but it's really, to me, it's 3 meters. But if my height, I'm just going to say my height is 2 meters, then I'm really 5 meters from the ground. That's what I really am. I say, remember, I took off from my hand. I went up 3 meters, but from the ground, I'm 5 meters high. So I hope that give you some clarification why most times it's best to fly your drone from the ground so it can be real zero. Now, one more thing too. Another thing I discovered flying my drone this weekend. Let me erase all this. This is another thing I discovered flying this weekend. I did take off my drone from here. My drone did take off. Let me erase this too. My drone did take off from here. There's my drone, which is my 0 point. But then, and you know this is true. This is true. Then you fly on a surface that's an incline. So when it's your 0 point right here, yeah, and the drone typically go up. It typically when it take off, it typically, don't quote me on this. It typically raise up to 1 3/10 meters. So if I took my drone off right here from 1 3/10 meters, and I went out on this little incline, this it would hit the incline. So that's why we have to keep making adjustments. When you're going up an incline, you have to keep adjustments to raising your drone higher and higher. Now, the other way around is a lot easier. This is the easy way right here. The drone's still gonna rise up. It's still gonna fly up 1 3/10 meter roughly. But if I'm going down a hill, now if I'm going up a hill, it's positive. Then if I'm coming down, I have to start my drone gonna start reading negative. Negative numbers. I'm going to come down. Negative 3/10. Negative 4. And that's how it works, people. So I hope you enjoyed this little video about how important that 0 point is. And if I'm going down a hill, I guess it doesn't matter if I have my joint in my hand then. Because when I'm going down, it's always going to be negative from that 0 point. But if you're going down, it's going to be negative, negative. If you're going up, positive. So I hope this gives you some insight into why, for the most part, it is important to take your drone off from the ground. From the ground, that is your true, that's your true 0 point. Not from my hand, because if I'm from my hand, my 0 point, if I'm 6 feet tall, is roughly 2 meters. But that will be my 0 point. So it's best to take off from the ground. I learned that lesson this weekend. I didn't get into no accident. But I was discovering I was flying my drone because I was going up an inclined plane. And I was wondering why does it look so different? It looks different because my drone was stuck at that height that I took off with, but I didn't make no elevation. I hope you enjoyed this video about explaining the importance of that 0 point. You have to make adjustments when you're going up an incline, and you have to make adjustments, which will be negative if you're going down an incline. I hope you like this video. Till the next time, I'll be with you.